Okay, we're having a little technical difficulties here. I'm Handy Andy with Angel Water. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we wanted to get started. Angel Water, of course, is protecting, our goal is to protect the health of your home and your family. And in that context, what we are doing today is talking about the health of your home. So the health of your home has a lot to do with the different fixtures in your house. We want to talk about, what are the things in your home that can break down. Sort of like in a body, you have all these organs, and we are always talking about how do we take this bad stuff out of your water so that your organs don't absorb some of that stuff. So very similarly, we want to talk about what is going to actually get into the faucets, the water heater, your laundry machine, and all those kind of things. What things there are that are in the water that we can make sure we protect it. And today it's all about flushing your water heater, because most of us all have calcium in the water. So calcium is nothing more than bedrock, and that's like this here. So we have rocks that are actually in the water. In the Chicagoland area, most of us have bedrock in our water, and this rock literally builds up on the inside of your water heater. So your water heater manual says that you should be flushing your water heater once a year to get rid of this buildup of calcium and magnesium. And sometimes our clients are like, no way, really? It gets filled with rocks? And I can tell you, we took some pictures here. They're not the highest quality pictures, but here's some pictures of literally when we cut open water heaters, what they look like with all the calcium and magnesium that actually builds up in water heaters. So literally inside of this container, we'll see rock build up 10, 20 pounds worth of rocks over a period of a couple of years. So that's part of why the manufacturer says that you should, without doubt, be flushing your water heater once a year. So today, my job is to actually walk you through how to flush your water heater. And by the way, here's another one that we just opened up. It was so heavy we had to open it up on the floor or on the outside of someone's home, and just so much sediment came out. It made it extremely heavy to try to move. So it's very hard to believe, but it's true. This is just the calcium and magnesium in the water supply throughout the Chicagoland area. Again, not only is it going to ruin your fixtures, it's going to degrade the quality of water, so that means you spend more money on soap for your laundry. You spend more money on buying new fixtures. You spend more money on fixing your laundry machine. So we talk a lot about why it's so important to filter your water, and this is a little mini water softener that takes the calcium out before it goes into the water softener, or into the water heater. So it's very, very important to consider a water softener to at least remove that calcium. The net result is that you'll actually get a 40% increase in the efficiency of your water equipment. So that means, like your water heater, that means you'll use 40% less natural precious resources. So let's take this is a natural gas water heater. So this natural gas water heater will use 40% less natural gas as a result of it. If you're using electricity, you'll be using at least 40% less electricity. And by the way, WQA, who did this study, they did a study, they're not for profit. They did their study a few years back, and they found that that can happen as fast as 1 year, depending on the water quality you have. Most of us out here in Barrington have the water quality that they tested, which is over 20 grains of hardness, and that would mean that your efficiency of that water heater within a year can go down. So if you don't have a water softener, what I do want to do is walk you through how to flush your water heater. So today, that's the ultimate goal here. So this is a standard flue water heater, and as you can see, I have a couple tools here. I have a gas valve to sort of give you guys an example of how to shut off the gas before you go to your water heater. You can, there are several different ways to flush a water heater. I'm going to show the abbreviated way. We can get into very big details of completely opening the top of the water heater and pouring vinegar into the water heater, all in an attempt to try to clean some of that calcium out. Today, I just want to show you what we do when we show up to your house to flush a water heater. We do that annually with our water softeners, or when we come out and do the annual clean and check on our water softeners. So the very first thing we're going to do is turn down the heat down to the very minimum. So when we turn it all the way down to the very minimum, it's basically turn it off. And then what we do is we're going to go ahead and take the valve that feeds the inside of the water heater, the fresh water, we're going to go ahead and turn that off. We want to just shut that off just to be able to, for a little bit, just to be able to let some pressure relief off the side of this water heater. This is a pressure relief valve. And what this does is relieves a little pressure of the, this is all under like 80 or 60 psi depending on your water from your home or from your water supply, 60, 40 psi. So we're going to relieve a little bit of that, and then what we're going to go ahead and do, after we do that, we're going to go ahead and connect a garden hose to the bottom of the water heater. You can see there's a garden, basically a boiler valve here that we're able to connect this hose to. And then all you really need from there is, as a backup, you're going to need to have a cap. If you have a case where you have a lot of calcium and magnesium in your water heater, like those examples, a lot of times when you open up this valve, it won't shut. So what we do is we always have to forewarn our clients that, hey, listen, we love you. When we're going to do this, there is the potential that that valve won't shut. We do have a cap to be able to thread back on there. But that would be an indicator that the water heater is getting kind of built up poorly and it is getting ruined by the calcium in the water. But this is there just in case you want to be able to put that on. Now, by the way, a couple of benefits that I've highlighted again is it extends the life of the water heater, reduces the chance of flooding, because in the bottom of this water heater, as you can imagine, if it builds up with rock and we're heating the bottom of the water heater with flames, we're then also heating that rock or that brick. And as you can imagine, if we're heating a big brick or a bunch of rocks down on the bottom, eventually they're going to crack. And when they crack, they could literally help crack or put a hole in the bottom of this water heater. That is what exactly happened with this water heater. It was leaking, so the client had to replace it. When we opened it up, we could see a lot of calcium and magnesium. In fact, some of the things that you can actually see off the top of this when it came out is we have all this, some of this buildup of actually calcium that's actually dribbled out of it over a couple of years for this customer. So anyhow, we also have a white bucket here, just as a backup. Part of the reason why we do the white bucket is so we can see actually what comes out. Once we've turned that off, we actually have a screwdriver to be able to thread into this flathead valve, and which allows us to go ahead and open up this valve and start flushing the water heater. Some of the other things that our guys will do is actually open this little sight where you have your pilot light, and so that we'll clean it of, make sure that we vacuum it out, or we'll clean it of any cobwebs or any dirt and dust that might have gotten in there. Once we open this valve up and start flushing it to the floor drain, we will then usually come back up to the top and start adding more water back to the unit. We want to start to allow water to actually flush that calcium and magnesium down the drain, and as we're doing that, that is going to help push a lot of this calcium and magnesium out of the water heater and down the drain. Now we'll put it in a white bucket like this usually so that we can show our customers exactly what's coming out of there. It helps demonstrate exactly how good that water softener is doing, or if you don't have one, it demonstrates the fact that you probably want to consider one if you want to extend the life of this water heater and extend the life of a lot of your other appliances. So as you can see, we have a couple different examples. Here's the gas valve that usually will leave before the water heater in case you need to turn that off in case this unit doesn't seem to work right. This is what's called a expansion valve, so this helps. These typically need to be replaced every year. The manufacturer says to replace these every year. Now, I want to be kind of clear, as a licensed plumbing company, we're kind of hesitant to do that, especially at homes that never had their water heater flushed, or especially if they don't have a water softener. Now, the purpose of this, and you can Google what can happen if you don't replace these, it literally becomes a bomb in the basement. So the Department of Public Health really recommends that this gets replaced every year. Now, the reason why we get hesitant of it, because you can see it's got a threaded valve on it. And when we go to unthread this out of the water heater, and if we had a lot of calcium and magnesium, again, all this rocks built up against that valve, a lot of times what we'll have is a leak that happens because we've now cracked the side of the unit. So at that point, the water heater is no good. We've had this happen many, many times, And this is why before we get started, we always ask for a waiver. We ask you to sign off understanding that this valve is not our liability. It's not our fault if this breaks and the water heater becomes no good. And they are running around today around $2,000 for a new one. But it is something to consider, because if you Google it, you'll see that it is a serious issue about the pressure inside of this water heater can get higher and not stop. And as a result, this expansion valve is designed to release the excess pressure caused by a faulty valve that allows the heat just to continue. As you can imagine, there's a thermostat on there. So if the thermostat is broken and it doesn't tell the valve to turn off the gas, it just keeps heating. That's when this thing can become a bomb. So again, it's something to consider. Our service techs are prepared to have these in their van. Again, we're very nervous about this. This is why we do ask for waivers when we do this kind of work. Again, this is something that should be at least replaced once a year, and you can certainly talk to one of our service techs if you have us out. If you're not, if you do it by yourself, certainly you can get this at Home Depot. You can also get the garden hose at Home Depot, and so if there's any other questions, you can always reach out to us at angelwater.com, or our phone number is 847-382-7800. Again, I'm Handy Andy with Angel Water, and we're very, very grateful for you tuning in today. Sorry we were a little late, but we hope we have taught you a little bit about flushing your water heater and the importance of your water heater. Again, it is something that we do on an annual basis when we come out and service your water equipment. Thank you.